the right to think as you wish, the right to say what you think, the right to publish what you say, the right to worship or not to worship, the right to come and go as you see fit, the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances, the right to defend yourself, Alex, by any technologically advanced means that are available at any given time, which includes the right to shoot at the government when it is taken over by tyrants. And then, of course, the right to be left alone in the Fourth Amendment. All of these rights are natural to us. And every person in the government takes an oath to uphold the Constitution, meaning upholding the inviolability of these rights. But in my years on the bench, and I write about this in the book, every time the government was in front of me, Alex, it wasn't to enforce the Constitution. It wasn't to protect someone's rights. It was to find some sneaky or ingenious way to get around the Constitution, but claim that they were enforcing it. Now, my new book, and I'm very happy to tell you that as of a few minutes ago, it's number 13 on the New York Times bestseller list. That doesn't mean the Times approves of the book. Hardly. It means that the most public counter of book sales is ranking me number 13, which is very good because then it gets published in that list. And a lot of folks that don't watch Fox or listen to Alex Jones or don't know me will be exposed to the book. The book posits the following. Why do we expect that the government will lie? Why do we know that the government lies and do nothing about it? Would Lyndon Johnson have beaten Barry Goldwater in '64 if we knew that he was secretly planning to invade North Vietnam as he accused Goldwater of doing? Would FDR have been elected in '44, reelected in '44, if the public had known that he caused Pearl Harbor because he needed an excuse to enter World War II? Would George W. Bush have been reelected in 2004 if people knew that there were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and that he knew it and ought to have known it, that he was torturing people and lying about it, that he was listening to people's phone calls and capturing their computer strokes, all in violation of federal law? That's what the book challenges Americans, Alex, to be aware of, to recognize, to reject, and to correct. My dear friend, I've enjoyed all my time with you.
And in closing, why do we put up with the lying? Why have we gotten to a point where it's just accepted they lie, but then that 20% that supports the government health bill still believe they're getting something free, and the system is going for broke because they passed the point of no return. They have committed so many crimes. They're so lawless. They've stolen so much. They know the country's going bankrupt. Bloomberg reports the feds are openly getting ready to take pension funds to fund their operations and to fund the banks. They have decided to go all the way, just like Hitler or Stalin or Mao. And it's time for the public to wake up. I mean, you mentioned the Stamp Act. Here is New Jersey CBS Television, CBS TV, WCBS. Cops in New Jersey town given keys to homes, and the cops are saying, we're putting keys on all your doors, and that we are now going to go into your house to make sure you're safe. And now they have zoning laws in Illinois and other places where people wake up and they do inspections without asking to see how many toothbrushes you have to make sure that you don't have more people in your house than you're zoned for. It is incredible. Judge Andrew Napolitano, I want to really thank you for joining us and spending time with us. Fire out your website.
Judge Knapp at foxnews.com. Alex, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for letting me share these airwaves with your wonderful listeners.
We appreciate you never compromising and being a true constitutionalist. God bless and Godspeed. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
To rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well funded.
President Obama and his Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, have repeatedly stated on the record that all Americans below the age of 64 will be forcibly conscripted into federal service.
Citizenship is not an entitlement program. It comes with responsibilities. Everybody somewhere between the ages of 18 and 25 will serve 3 months of basic training and understanding in a kind of civil defense.
Now, it doesn't always have to be service in uniform. One of the things that if you talk to our generals, they are desperate for is a civilian counterpart to our military forces.
So is this compulsory then?
Well, you have to, in a sense, it's a required of everybody, 18 to 25, 3 months, and at some point at that point you do it. Obviously, I'm not going to say perfect legislation. We'll work that process through.
Or you could do it during a college summer, or you could do it after
Anytime.
high school.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascism.
Obama's transition site, change.gov, proclaimed that middle school and high school students will be forced to serve the federal government.
Fascism is gutter up, streets up, hooligans, thugs, fervently idealistic students, swarming adolescents, just the kind of thing you see around Obama. The way you get a population to enslave itself when the police and the army are no longer enough to do that. So I think that's if you're a left liberal, it's time to open your eyes to that.
All young Americans between the ages of 18 and 24 will be conscripted into a paramilitary domestic security force. If Obama has his way, adults and seniors will also be forced into other forms of service for the betterment of the homeland. Number 3, disarming the American people. Obama operatives in the Congress have introduced more than 10 bills that would end the Second Amendment as we know it. H.R. 1022 would allow the new Attorney General Eric Holder the dictatorial power to ban any gun he wishes at will. In 2008, before the Supreme Court, in the D.C. gun ban case, District of Columbia versus Heller, Holder argued for the complete disarmament of the American people and that only the military should own firearms. H.R. 257 would ban all youth shooting sports, including YMCA and Youth Olympic shooting clubs. H.R. 45 would force all gun owners to undergo federal psychological screening, registration, and testing to keep their firearms. White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel has proposed the extrajudicial banning of any American on the fraudulent no-fly list from owning any firearm.
That is, if you are on the no-fly list because you are known as maybe a possible terrorist, you cannot buy a handgun in America.
Over 25,000 Americans are added each month to the no-fly list, which numbers over 1 million people who have not been charged or convicted of any crime.
It's a case of mistaken identity for a 5-year-old boy from Normandy Park. He had trouble boarding a plane because someone with his same name is wanted by the federal government. King 5's Mimi Jung is live at SeaTac Airport to explain. Mimi. Lori,
folks, I just played 4.5 minutes from the Obama deception, a 2-hour film, just to give you an idea. The whole film is that jam-packed with tyranny in their own words. And I have these idiot Obama supporters sending me emails. I played that because I got one yesterday, saying I'm lying about them wanting to have national forced service, which is total slavery, just like the health care bill. We're going to come back, cover tons of news, and take your phone calls. Wide open phones at 800-259-9231. We'll be right back. Stay with us.